In this video recording, we are going to talk about this unit number 5, mensuration in IGCSE 0580. So what are the key pointers that we should be aware of under this mensuration? Hey, hi, Levin. Hello. Levin, are you able to hear me?
Yes,
Hey, hi, Levin. So you're in which grade?
I finished my grade 10.
You finished your grade 10. So you have exams in a week or something, right?
No, I finished it. Uh, I'm in my vacation for grade 11.
Oh, and the purpose of you joining this meeting is this classes.
Just for my A-levels tutoring.
Oh, just for your A levels. Okay, great
Yes.
then. Yeah. So in this session, we will be looking at the mensuration. So a quick review of mensuration, and also we will be working on few questions. And this
Okay.
is purely based on this IGCSE 0580 syllabus. So
Okay.
under mensuration, the first thing that we should be aware of is the units of measures. What are the units that we use it, and what are the different symbols that we have it? So this is the very basic things to know it. So it's goes something like for length, we denote it with meters. For mass, we use grams or kilograms. And for capacity, we use liters. And these are the symbols we have it. And
Okay.
also for kilo, centimeters or something like that, and a millimeter, something like that. So we use M for millimeters, C for centiliters, and K for kiloliters, something like that. And here
Yes.
the lengths can be also uh, kilometers, meters, centimeters, and millimeters. So these are the four different things that we will be using it for lengths.
Okay.
And for mass, it's going to be tons. Ton is the maximum thing that we have it. Then we have this kilograms and grams. So these are the major units that we have it. And for
Okay.
capacity, it's this liters, centiliters, and milliliters. Of course, we also have something like kiloliters, something
Mm.
like 1000 or 200 kiloliters, so something like that. So kiloliters are also something that we use it. I think these are the basic stuff. I hope you're aware of these things, right? I'll tell
Yes.
you the most important, only the most important pointers for you to take it down. And other than that, I'm just walking through these things.
Mm.
So the next thing that we should be learning is so about triangles. So what are the different types of triangles that we have and how they have measured or how they have identified? So the first thing is we have this equilateral triangle, which has three sides in it, which will be equal in nature, right?
Mm. Yes.
So three sides in it, which will be equal in nature. And also, if I talk about the angles in an equilateral triangle, the angles in an equilateral triangle is going to be always 60 degrees,
Mm.
right? Because the sum of interior angles in any triangle is 180. And when they say equilateral triangle, all the sides and all the angles are also the same. So that's
Yes.
why they have to be 60 degrees. Then we have this isosceles triangle. Isosceles triangle means any two sides of the triangle is
Mm.
same. And here, the base angles should also be the same. So that means the angle which is opposite to these sides are also the same. So if this is x, this one will also be x. So something like this, right? And these two
Yes.
angles. So the one more property of isosceles triangle is, do you know what do you mean by median?
No.
Median means a straight line which cuts the opposite side into
Yes. Yes. Yes.
half. So this green line, we call it as the median.
Mm.
So whenever you draw a median, which splits the opposite sides into two halves. So the median drawn in an isosceles triangle or in an equilateral triangle will be always perpendicular to the base.
Mm.
So the reason why we have this is, so whenever you have an equilateral triangle or an isosceles triangle, once when you draw the median, you can
Mm.
always apply the Pythagoras theorem to find the unknown sides here, right? So
Oh,
suppose these two sides are given, if this is given as 6 and this is given as 6 or something, and if the base is given as maybe 8 or something, and if I need to find the height of this triangle, so I can also split these sides as 4 here, then I can think about using a Pythagoras theorem to find the height, because
yes.
that will act as the isosceles triangle. That will act as the right angle triangle. This is this property, the median will be perpendicular to the base. That property is applicable only for the equilateral triangle as well as for the isosceles triangle.
Okay.
Got it? It will not be applicable for scaling, because if you look at it, if you try to draw a median for a scaling triangle, the median would look something like this, right?
Mm.
I
Yes.
can clearly see it. That's not going to be a right angle triangle. So yeah, so scaling triangle means no sides or no angles will be the same. Then we have this thing by angles also we can uh, differentiate or basically uh, categorize the triangles, the acute angle triangles, right angle triangles. So that means one of the angles should be right angle, and obtuse angle triangle. So that means one of the angles should be more than 90 degrees.
Yes.
Got it? Yeah, the key pointer is, if you want, you can make a note on this equilateral and isosceles triangle about the median.
Yeah. Yes.
You have made a note. Okay, great. And the next thing that we have is perimeter of a triangle. So now the perimeter of a triangle is, so first of all, before that, area and the perimeter of a triangle. So we know this basic formula. Area of a triangle is half base into the perpendicular height.
Yes.
And perimeter is sum of all three sides, right? And now
Mm.
there is something known as Heron's formula. That's whenever we know all the three sides. So just by knowing all three sides, it's not going to be an equilateral triangle or an isosceles triangle. Just by knowing all three sides, we can also figure out what is the uh, area of that triangle. So using this formula. So the formula
Okay.
is of S times S minus A times S minus B times S minus C. And here And here, S is the half of the perimeter. So that's what they have mentioned it. So that we call it a semi-perimeter. Can you just make a note on this Heron's formula? I hope
Yes.
this area of a triangle you must be very comfortable with. Just make a note on this Heron's formula.
Okay. Yes.
Next, so there are some properties about equilateral triangle.
Okay.
So there are some properties about equilateral triangles. So the one is, we have already seen this whenever we draw a median. So that median is going to be a perpendicular. Now, whenever just the side is given, we can find the area of triangle using the formula root 3 by 4 times a squared. This is whenever they will just give us the side of an equilateral triangle. If I need to find an area, So I can always use this formula. Just make a note on this. And this derivation will give us how did they get this? How did they derive this for me? So for now, you can just make a note on the equilateral triangle area. Area of an equilateral triangle is going to be root 3 by 4 times a squared, where a is the side. Okay, have you made a note?
Yes.
Okay. And the next thing is about isosceles triangle. And especially, yeah, this is what I was talking about. Whenever you draw a median, it will be perpendicular. So then you can apply the Pythagoras theorem. And these things, it's not necessary for us to make a note right now. And whenever you have an isosceles right triangles. So isosceles right triangle means by default, the two sides should be the same. And again, your hypotenuse can't be seen with one of the side. So excluding the hypotenuse, whatever the other two sides we have it, that those two sides must be the same. So in that case, so that will act as the base and the height. So that's why its area of this isosceles right triangle is going to be half into a base into height, which is half into a, which is half into a squared. So whenever you have a right angle triangle, so you can just do it like half into the two sides which are with the 90 degrees. Got it? Nothing else to note here. These questions are simple. Okay, can we try this question number 4? Can you try this question 4 and give me the answer? You can use your calculator as well. Okay, when we solve this question number 4, that's the find the area of triangle whose length of each side is 3, 5, and 4. So the moment that I say is, so we have all three sides. So that's why I can use this Heron's formula to calculate the area. So the Heron's formula would go something like area is equals to square root of S into S minus A into S minus B into S minus C. We know this. S is the semi-perimeter, so which is basically the sum of all the perimeters divided by 2. So which is 3 plus 5 plus 4 over 2. So when I solve this, this is nothing but 6. So in that case, area is going to be square root of 6 times, it's 6 minus 3 times 6 minus 5 times 6 minus 4. If I simplify this, it's going to be 6 into 6 minus 3 is 3, then 6 minus 5 is 2, sorry, 6 minus 5 is 1, then this is basically 2. So that's going to give us square root of 36, which is just going to be 6. So the area of this triangle, because here we have seen it, the Heron's formula would be square root of S into S minus A into S minus B into S minus C. That's the formula that we have used it to calculate this. And this is the right answer for this question 4. Next, if I move on. So here are the things about rectangles. Area and perimeter of the rectangle and a square. So rectangle, we have this length and breadth. So the perimeter of the rectangle is going to be 2 times length plus breadth, because this opposite side will also be the length and this would be the breadth. And the area is going to be just length into breadth. Then if I have the square, there are 4 sides. If the side is S, then the 4 side is going to be 4S is the perimeter. Then area is going to be S times S, which is S square. Next, if I talk about area and perimeter of the parallelogram. So that's parallelogram. Perimeter is sum of the all four sides here. So that's basically the length of, and the property of parallelogram is the opposite sides are equal and parallel. So that's why you can also say it as 2 times AB. If I take it as length into breadth, it's going to be 2 times length. Length means I have to take the slant height to be length. So it's going to be 2 times L plus B. So this will give us the perimeter. And this is the right answer for this. This is what is the formula for the parallelogram. And next, if I talk about area of parallelogram, so area of parallelogram is going to be just base times height. And the height of the parallelogram is a straight line which is perpendicular to the base of this parallelogram. And it's base times height. Next. So if I talk about solving the sum, so I'll just solve this question to find the area of the parallelogram with the base as being 12 centimeters and the height as being 5 centimeters. So in that case, it's just the area of the parallelogram has to be base times height, which is nothing but base is 12 and the height is 5. So that will give us 60 centimeters. And here too, the same thing is given. Next, here we are talking about questions for you. Okay, and then we have this trapezium. So we have this isosceles trapezium and scalene trapezium and a right trapezium. So isosceles trapezium means the two of these sides are exactly the same and the base angle will also be the same. Yeah, that's what it meant by the isosceles trapezium. And next, the scalene trapezium means none of the sides would be the same and none of the angles will also be the same. And right triangle trapezium means the one of the side would be perpendicular to the base. And the main property of trapezium is the opposite sides are only one pair of sides will be parallel to each other. And this is what we have it for trapezium. And if I look into the formula for area of trapezium and the perimeter. So perimeter is basically we have to add the sum of all these four sides. So that's there. And if I talk about the area of trapezium, so area of trapezium formula is going to be half into the sum of parallel sides. The parallel sides means here these two are the parallel sides. So the sum of parallel sides multiplied by height. Height is basically the perpendicular height. So you should never think about taking this slant height as the height. So here is one question. If the perimeter, hey, hi, Ruchika. Hello. Hey, hi,
Hello.
Ruchika. Are you able to hear me? Ruchika,
Yes, sir.
are you able to hear me? You are in which grade?
9.
You are in 9th grade, not in 10th grade. Okay, you just finished your 9th grade, right? Okay, in this class,
I am now in 9.
okay, yeah. So in this class, we are working on mensuration. Have you done this concept mensuration with your teacher ever before?
Yes,
Mensuration means,
in
okay,
8th class.
in the 8th class, you have done it. The trapezium, parallelogram, all these things, right?
Yes.
Okay, great. I was talking about this one, the how do we find the area of the trapezium, and how do I find the perimeter of the trapezium? Do you know what this trapezium is?
A shape
Correct. Trapezium means the main
that
property of trapezium is the opposite sides would be parallel to each other. Only one pair of sides will be parallel. So here, your DC and AB are parallel. So whenever one pair of sides are parallel, so we say that that is a trapezium. And here the h will be the height here, right? And when I say sum of all sides, so that will give us the perimeter. That's nothing but A to B, then B to C, then C to D, and A to D or D to A. Then we have this area of trapezium. And if I talk about finding out this area of trapezium, the formula that we will be using is half into A plus B. And here A and B are the parallel sides that we have it. So it is half into sum of parallel sides multiplied by the height. Got it? Can you, Ruchika, can you just make a note on this formula? That is the area of trapezium. Do you have a pen and paper with you?
yes.
Okay, can you just make a note on this? Have you made a note?
Yes.
Okay. So now, can we try one of these questions? Can you try this question? If the
What
perimeter
is
of,
the perimeter of trapezium formula?
oh, there is nothing like a specific formula. So you just need to add all the four sides. It's a very, very simple and straightforward question. The perimeter of trapezium is 32. And the
We will
three
add
sides,
this 3 plus 8 plus 10 then equals to 32. Then we
yeah,
will find the fourth.
that's correct. So which is basically, the perimeter will be all four sides, right? So perimeter will be equals to 3 plus 8 plus 10 plus, let's say the fourth side, I'll just take it as x. And this is what is 32. 3 plus 8 is 11. 11 plus 10 is 21. When it comes to the left-hand side, it's 32 minus 21. And this is what is x's. So which is going to be 11. Got it? The fourth side is 11. Done.
Yes.
We can also try. Oh, this is also on perimeter. Okay. Then if I have this compound shapes, see here, whenever we have a rectangle, square, parallelogram, or trapezium, so we can straight away find out what is the perimeter and what is the area using the formula. But whenever we have a compound shape, so something like this, so here there are two rectangles, right? So two rectangles combined together, so we call it as, it's the compound shape. So now this, if I need to find the overall area, so that means you need to find the area of those two shapes separately and you have to add them up. And here it could be an example. So can we try to find out the area of these two shapes? So here there are two rectangles in the first example. There are two rectangles, right? In the second example, are you able to observe what are the two compound shapes we have? in this one? What are the two compound shapes we have?
First
Ruchika.
is first is rectangle.
Okay, rectangle. Then we have a rectangle and a semicircle, right? Okay. Do you know how to find the area of this shape now? The first shape? I can also split it like this. Okay. What will be the area of, so I can split it into two different shapes. This is shape A and this is shape B. What will be the area of shape A?
That second figure is 10 upon 2. Then we will find the area, length into breadth.
Okay, area of B is going to be 10 times 2. That's what you're saying it, right? And what will be the area of A? Because the area of rectangle is going to be just base into height. Or you can take it as length into breadth. What will be the area of shape AR, Ruchika?
Side into side.
Which is?
9. Half
No,
of
it
9.
is not going to be 9. 9 is the overall height.
Half of
So
9.
we have to find, sorry?
4.5.
I couldn't hear you properly. For
4.
this rectangle, this is 4 and this is 7, right? Because the overall height is 9 centimeter and we know this is going to be 2 centimeters, right? Because B is a rectangle, opposite sides would be the same. But this is 2 centimeters and this height has to be 7 centimeters. So in that case, the area of shape A has to be 4 times 7. And we can find these areas separately. So which is, this is 20 and this is 28. So in that case, the total area is going to be, the area of the shape is 20 plus 28, which is 48. Got it? Did you get this, Ruchika?
Yes.
Okay. Now, can you find out what is the area of the second shape? So I'll take this to be shape A. In the second figure, this to be shape A and this to be shape B. Do you know what is the formula to calculate the area of a semicircle?
Half pi.
Yeah, half pi into, it's half pi into r squared because area of a circle is going to be just pi r squared. So in that case, the area of semicircle is going to be half into pi r squared. And here you can substitute it. So here the diameter is going to be 6, right? So then what will be the radius if the diameter is 6?
3.
Come again?
3.
Yeah.
3.
So it's going to be half into pi into 3 squared, right? Which is basically 9 by 2, which is 4.5. So it's 4.5 times pi. Then what will be the area of shape B?
Side into side.
5 times 6, right? Yeah. So this is how we do this compound shapes. Can you quickly make a note on these things?
Why we will multiply it with 5?
5 into 6. Why we are doing 5 into 6? Is that your question?
Yes.
This is the rectangle, right? So what is the formula to calculate the area of a rectangle?
It is a square. This
Sorry?
shape. This shape is a square.
No, it is not square. Square means it has to be 5 and 5. Both the sides, square means all four sides must be the same. But here, all four sides are not the same. So one of the side we have it as 5 and the other side we have it as 6. So that's why whenever the sides lengths are not the same, then we say that's a rectangle.
How we
Got it?
got the area of semicircle?
How did we get the area of semicircle? Is that your question?
Yes.
This is the formula to calculate the area of semicircle. Have you seen this formula ever?
Yes.
Half into pi r squared. And
Yes.
this is the area of semicircle. And pi, I'll keep it as it is. We just saw that the diameter of the semicircle is 6. So which means the radius is going to be 3, right?
Pi we have to take 22.7.
No, you can put it in the calculator as well. So in the calculator also, so even if you're using a scientific calculator, you will have an option to put pi into the calculator. So with that, can get the direct answer. Got it?
Yes.
Ruchika, did you get this?
Yes.
Yeah. So with this, I hope you will be able to find the total area, right?
Yes.
Okay. Can you quickly make a note on this?
How we got the semicircle 4.5 value?
4.5.
Yes.
Yeah, 4.5 times pi. That's what even I have written it here, right? Ruchika, have you made a note on this?
How we get the area of semicircle 4.5 pi?
How did we get? Did you understood the substitution?
Yes.
Half into pi into 3 squared. What is the value of 3 squared?
9.
Okay, 9 divided by 2 is 4.5, and I'll keep this pi as it is.
Okay.
Got it? Did you get this?
Yes.
Okay, can you quickly make a note on these two things in your notebook?
Written.
Ruchika, did you make a note?
Yes.
Then we have something known as surface area of these some compound shapes. Do you know what do you mean by cylinder? So this is the shape of the cylinder. And if it is hollow in both the ends, so if I just need to find the curved surface area, so that's basically just the curved surface area, surrounding area, that we can find it using the formula of 2 times pi times r times h, 2 pi r h. And hollow can in a sense, the bottom is covered, but the top is hollow, right? It's like a can shape. So the bottom is covered, but the top is hollow. So when we do that, it's 2 pi r h plus pi r squared is the volume. And whenever both the top and the bottom are hollow, then or solid, then we will be using the formula of 2 pi r h plus 2 pi r squared. So next, if I talk about cone, so for a hollow cone, so that means the top of this cone is just open. For a hollow cone, the surface area is pi rl, so where L is the slant height. And for the solid cone means where the top surface is closed, and it is pi rl plus pi r squared, because the surface, the top surface is basically a circle, and the area of the circle is going to be pi r squared. Here also the surface are just the circles, and the area of those circles are just pi r squared. And here there are two circles, so that's why it's 2 pi r squared. And the surface area of any spheres is going to be 4 times pi r squared. These are the formulas that we should be aware of. And these formulas will also be given in the question as well, in the IGCSE questions. And if I talk about rectangular prism, or we call it as cuboid, so the volume of this shape is length into width into. Hey, hi, Ruchika. So here, the next concept that we are going to look into is, so we call it as solid geometry. Have you heard about this concept? Ruchika, have you heard about this concept before, solid geometry?
No.
Yes or no? I couldn't hear you properly. These are the formulae we have it for the solid geometry. The first shape that we are going to look into is cylinder. The first shape that we are going to look into here will be the cylinder. And the cylinder will be in this shape. And first of all, it's the hollow cylinder. Hollow cylinder means both the top and the bottom are just hollow or open. The area of this curved surface area, so that means only the surface, the curved one, so that's going to be 2 pi r h. So that's the formula to calculate the area. And next, hollow can. Hollow can means one end is closed, but the other end is hollow. So that means here the top is open, but the bottom is closed. So the bottom of the cylinder is going to be just a circle. So that's why the area of circle is pi r squared. And 2 pi r h will give us the curved surface area. So that means the area of this curved path, and we are adding this pi r squared. So that's why this will become the formula. And for a solid cylinder, both the top and bottom both will be closed. And the area of both the ends is going to be 2 pi r squared. And it's basically 2 pi r h plus 2 pi r squared. And this is what we have it. And next, we have this hollow cone. Cone is outer surface area, so which is pi rl. So that means here, whenever the top is closed, and here L is the slant height. So that means it is not the actual height, it is the slant height of the cone. So this is what is pi rl. And the solid cone means the top surface is closed. And if I need to find the surface area, so that means area of all the surfaces, whatever the surface that you have it. So if we need to find the area of all the surface, we have to use all these formula. Then we have something known as sphere. And the formula to calculate the surface area of a sphere is 4 pi r squared. Can you quickly make a note on these formulas? So mainly, if you want, you can just make a note on these three. And here are some of them. So whenever you have it like a prism, so now we spoke about surface area, and here we are going to talk about volume. So the volume of any cuboid is going to be length into width into depth. Or you can also say it as length into breadth into height. So that will be the volume of prism or volume of rectangular prism or a cuboid. Then we have solids of uniform cross sections. So when I say uniform cross sections, whatever the cross sections that they have it. So here, the base is the cross section. And here, this side is the cross section. The base will be infinitely. So if you have, think about, if you have an infinite circular plates, if you have many circular plates, if you put one on the other, it forms up a cylinder, right? If you have the plain circular plate, and if you put one plate on the other, if you put lots of plates together, overall it forms up a cylinder. So that's what it is. So that means here the cross section will be the circle. And here, so suppose if you have a plate or a sheet, something like this shaded part, and if you put all these types of plates together, so then it forms up a solid, something like that. So in that case, these are known as prisms. So these types of things, we call it as prisms. And whenever we need to find the volume of a prism, so the volume of the uniform solid, or basically the volume of prism, is going to be area of end times height. So that means area of cross section, you can also write it as area of cross section into height. Area of cross section times height. So this is the formula to calculate the volume of this shape. And next, if I talk about pyramids and cones, so volume of pyramid or cone is, so this is the volume of pyramid, and this is the cone. So pyramid means the base could be anything. So the first one we have is rectangle pyramid or a square pyramid. And the second one is a circular pyramid. So circular pyramids, we also call it as cone. So here the base is cone and we have this height. So in that case, the volume of pyramid or a cone is going to be 1/3 times area of base times height. If it is a circle, area of base is going to be 1/3 into area of the circle is pi r squared into h. So that's why a volume of cone is going to be 1/3 into pi r squared h. And next we have the sphere to be volume of sphere. The formula is 4/3 pi r cube. So you have to make a note on all these formulae, and we will be doing the questions based on these things. Yeah, in this chapter, we have to learn about the formulae, and we should know how to apply these formulas to the question to solve the question. Hope you have made a note. Next. So now, keeping these formulas in mind, let's work on few questions. Okay, here we have this first question. So I want you to try this. Try this. Suppose if you are unable to solve it, I'll help you out. Otherwise, just a second. Probably let's start with the simple questions. Yeah, let's work on this one. Can you work on part A here? Volume of a metal sphere of radius 15 centimeters. Show that it rounds up to this. And we need to find the volume of the sphere. So the volume of sphere, the formula also that they have mentioned it is 4 by 3 into pi r cube. This is the volume of sphere formula. And the radius here is 15. So it's going to be volume is equals to 4 by 3 into pi into the radius cube, so which is nothing but 15 cube. And this is something that we have to put it in the calculator and solve it. Do you have any calculator right now with you? Ruchika, do you have any calculator with you? For IGCSE course, it is allowed. Are you doing IGCSE grade 9? Are you in IGCSE grade 9? Haha. Oh, okay. You're from a CBSE background? Oh, okay. Then let's not worry about the calculator for now. You can just write down this. So if you solve this, you will get the answer somewhere closer to 14,140. For this IGCSE board, it's like they can use the calculator, and using the calculator, they will get some results here. Then we'll do one thing. For this session, we'll work more on the perimeter question. There, you will not require to use calculators much more. Okay. Can we try this question? So you need to find the area. Can you try this one? Ruchika, you can solve it on your book and you can just give me the answer. Do it like this. I'll split it as triangle, and this is shape A and this is shape B. So I'll just split it as triangle and a rectangle. So area of triangle is half into base into height, which is half into the base is 10 and the height is going to be 5. Oh, the height will also be 10 here because this length is 5. So the overall length is 15. So that means this length has to be 10, right? So it's going to be half into 10 times 10, which is 50. Then the area of rectangle is length into breadth. So that's basically 5 into 10, which is 50. So the total area is going to be 100. Ruchika, did you understood this? Total area is 100. Got it? Oh, then you can directly tell me the answer, so that only if you are wrong, then I'll do it. Okay, can we try this question? Oh, you can split this as a triangle and a rectangle. So I'll just draw a line here. if I draw a line here, this will be a triangle and a rectangle. So I'll take this as shape A and this as shape B. So if I talk about area of shape A, we know this, the overall is 12 and this is 7 means this one has to be 5 here. And this one has to be 1 year. So in that case, area of shape A is going to be half into base into height. Half into the base is 5 and the height is 1. And area of B is going to be its length into height. So which is 12 into 3. So which is nothing but 2.5 is the area of shape A and 12 times 3 is 36. So when you add them up, so 38.5 is the answer. Got it? And since everything is in meters, the area has to be the squared meters. So in these types of questions, you have to always give it with the units measure. Yeah. So if you look at it, so one tin can cover 20 square meters, right? So we have this 38.5. So that means we need at least need 2 coats of paint. So for two coats, it has to be 2 times 38.5, right? So in that case, the number of tins required should be 2 times 38.5 over 20. So which is nothing but 3.85 tins, or basically we need 4 tins of paints. Got it? Did you get this, Ruchika? Yes, great. Let me try these 3 questions. It has something to do with the area of parallelogram. So once when you get the answer, just put it in the chat. Yeah. Let me try these 3 questions.